What's going on, everyone? So, I know patience. I talk patience all the time, and I know us as a fan base are not the most patient fan base, but I will continue to preach patience. And I do think that the Lakers need to continue to be patient. I think that they need to take their time. And it appears like the Lakers are taking their time. They're turning over every rock. They're doing their due diligence, right? Like, there's a lot of time. And I know I've said this on several occasions, but I'm going to keep saying it. There's a lot of time between now and the start of trading camp. You have like 3 months. I know we all want the Lakers to basically do everything in one swoop, and a minute into free agency, boom, we've made all the trades, we've made all the signings, everything. Right? But you still have guys like Al Horford that's contemplating what he wants to do, where he wants to go. DeAnthony Melton seems to be doing that, right? There's several free agents that are out there. There's still several restricted free agents that haven't signed new deals, like Quentin Grimes and all that stuff. Like, who knows? There's talks about several guys being bought out still, right? Bradley Beal could get bought out. Nikola Vucevic might end up getting bought out. Dude, imagine if you get and add Bradley Beal and Nikola Vucevic to your bench. I understand that they're older and whatnot. Bradley Beal's not that old. He's like 32, but like, I understand Nikola Vucevic, but in a backup role, a guy that averaged like 19 and 10 and shot like 40% from three-point range as a center, I think that'd be great as a backup. Like, patience is the key, right? Lakers need to stay the course. The beauty of it all, though, is the Lakers are no longer desperate, right? Like, or at least can present themselves as non-desperate, right? Like, the Lakers' biggest kind of desperation was the center position. Right? I mean, you even heard reports that like, hey, teams are jacking up the prices. Why? Because they know the Lakers are desperate. Lakers are desperate. Lakers are desperate. Right? And then all of a sudden, the Lakers end up landing DeAndre Ayton. Boom. Land Ayton. Beautiful. Now you don't have that desperation for the starting center. Right? Okay, well, what about the backup? Boom. Teams jacking up price. Boom. Sign Jackson Hayes. Right? Price come down. Why? It's like, hey, we're not desperate again. Look at how good Jackson Hayes was last year. Look at how good he was in a starting role. Imagine him in a backup role, right? Especially over the course of the regular season. Yeah, we'd love to have your guy, but we don't need him, right? That's the difference. That's the conversation now. Where before it was like, hey, we need this guy. Now it's like, hey, we'd love to have this guy, but we don't need him, right? And Rob's done a really good job of patience. I know people talk about like, oh, Rob's had Luka and DeAndre Ayton and everything just fall into his lap. Is it like, but again, isn't that through Rob Pelinka's patience, right? If Rob Pelinka goes and makes all the trades that the Laker fans were screaming for him to do, right, before and after the Dorian Finney-Smith trade, Lakers wouldn't have had the stuff to go get Luka. Rob was patient. Luka falls into his lap, right? Isn't that, like, shouldn't that be applauded? Okay, well, Rob Pelinka. If Rob Pelinka did what all of us wanted him to do and just go trade for first center, even with the prices being insane and high, like, imagine if Rob Pelinka went and gave up Dalton Connect in a first for Nick Claxton, right? Because we desperately needed a center, and all of the fan base was screaming for Rob Pelinka to trade for a center, and the consensus thought was like, hey, Nick Claxton is the best option. Now, I'm sure there's some people that don't think he was the best option, but again, the consensus thought, the majority was like, hey, that's probably the best option for the Lakers. Imagine if he did that and then DeAndre Ayton became available and the Lakers could have gotten him for free. Because he's not coming to Lakers if he has to come off the bench, right? Like, it's just not happening, right? So, again, Rob Pelinka is patient and something falls into his lap. Right, patience is a skill in and of itself. That's why they're saying patience is a virtue, right? Like, man, that guy's got great patience. Like, it's usually why it's rewarded and applauded, right? Like, you do things the right way, the right things will fall in your lap. But now the Lakers can continue and remain patient with the lack of desperation. It's the difference. Now, I do think the Lakers could kind of desperately use a wing, but you can, again, at least make the perspective of like, hey, we're good, right? Like, we're going to be the best offense probably in all of basketball, right? We were the best defensive team in basketball for like 23 games with basically the same lineup and Jackson Hayes, right? Like, DeAndre Ayton, if he buys in, is a better defensive player than Jackson Hayes, right? DeAndre Ayton's had some good defensive seasons. He actually, when he wants to be, is actually a very good defender because he's hyper athletic, moves well, can defend in the pick and roll, can defend at the rim. It's just getting him to buy in on that side of the basketball is the problem, right? So, if you can get him to buy in, like Lakers, especially during the regular season, are going to be very good, right? And again, Lakers' best assets are probably the expiring contracts. Because you just see, I mean, you've seen the value even the last year since the new CBA of how important those value contracts are. But it's an appreciative asset, right? The longer you can wait and hold out on, trading those guys, the more valuable that they will be. Because you're going to get to the trade deadline and you're going to have a team that's either really good that doesn't want to be, or you're going to have a team that's really bad that was expecting to be good and kind of wants to reset and retool, or you're going to get that guy that just wants to out. Right? You get a guy that's like, hey, like every few months, there's a new guy, a star or some, guy that just wants out and ends up getting bought out. And especially with the new CBA, players getting bought out is going to be more and more common. Because again, teams have to be creative. Teams are going to have to let's just eat the money, for this year or two and then, retool next year. Because teams aren't going to take on that money, especially for contracts that you overpaid or whatnot. Right? So the Lakers getting these guys for it's not that uncommon, right? So, it's just, these are the kind of things we got to keep in mind, and patience is key. All of this stuff. It's just, I'm glad that the Lakers aren't in a point of desperation. They still need to be aggressive though, right? I like that we keep hearing reports about Rob kind of turning over every rock. You should be. You should be doing your due diligence. You should be picking up that phone call, no matter how crazy that the trade might be, no matter how much as it sounds. But Lakers also have to be patient because you're very limited in the assets that you have, right? You're not in a position like an OKC or a Spurs or a Houston or something like that, where you just have this, you can make the wrong move or two, right? OKC gave up assets for Gordon Hayward, and it was a disaster for them. And even, Sam Presti had to come on and do a press conference and was like, hey, you know what? That one was my bad. I thought one thing, it turned out to be another. And, I messed up. I dropped the ball there, right? But it was okay because they have, that was like a billionaire losing $100. It's you probably didn't even notice. It's oh, you gave up and they didn't even notice it, right? Because they're just so flushed. Lakers aren't in that position. They have Dalton Connect and a first-round pick. That's it. And then 4 pick swaps. They don't have this, well of assets they can go into. You have potentially one shot at this. One shot. And if you mess that up, right, you're not going to have another shot for a while. Yes, there's always those trades where you just do player trades. You've seen several of those this season, and there will be more of those under the new CBA and stuff. But again, it makes things so much more difficult if you're the Lakers. You got to be careful. You got to kind of, let things play itself out. And we'll kind of see. We'll see how this all kind of takes shape. But Lakers need to continue to do their job, continue to do their due diligence, continue to be patient, and let those things kind of come to you. You're not in a place of desperation anymore, which is great. So don't start making yourself look desperate. If you have to go into the season with the current roster, you go into the season with the current roster. I don't think it's bad. I think you'll be one of, if not the best offensive teams in basketball. You'll probably win 55 games, and you can address what you need to address at the trade deadline when things are cheaper and easier to get done, which is why Rob usually likes to get things done at the trade deadline, because teams are more willing to negotiate, because it's kind of like your last chance, right? It's a curtain call. And it's do you really want to go with that guy for the rest of the season, or do you want to kind of retool, right? So it's just, I think the Lakers will be in good shape. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Else not. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.